Alright, today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the U-joint on the Yamaha Big Bear 350, the Kodiak 400. This is actually a Timberwolf 250, but the differentials are all either identical or very close to the same. You're going to replace the U-joint the same way in any of them. You've got the differential out. You don't actually have to remove this differential to do this project, and I would suggest not going through the hassle of removing it. Sometimes on some of the models you do have to loosen up the differential. Just loosen your mounting bolts here and on the sides here, and your differential will be loosened up. Slide that forward, that way the drive shaft can be pulled off of this yoke here. So that means this is free and clear. Sometimes if you're not going to pull your front axles off, you will have to jack the front of that four-wheeler up so you can spin those axles. And like I said, it all depends on the model and how you have to do that. But you do want to make sure that you can turn this freely, and at some point you'll have to disconnect it from the actual drive shaft itself if you're going to replace the yokes. Now, to replace the U-joint itself, I don't believe that it's necessary to pull that drive shaft out of your yoke here, but you do have to be able to spin it just like that. Now, the first thing I like to do, and I like to grab two screwdrivers that are the exact same size, and then a small hammer. And the reason why I like to have two screwdrivers, I'll show you that here in a second, but you're going to want to turn this over so you can find clips. Now, your U-joint is going to look like this. You've got clips that look like this in there. So if these are attached and you're just tapping on one side of these clips, then potentially your clip could just spin just like that, and you're not going to be able to loosen it up. You do have to remove these clips to remove the U-joint. So I like to try just doing one side. This one looks like it worked. Get it to a spot where you can get the screwdriver in behind there. We might have to tap on it again. But I don't like going too much, otherwise this clip will go flying across the room. If you're reusing it, you might have to search for it. And so if you just tap it a little bit at a time, a lot of times you can keep it from flying across the room. Then once it's out of there enough to get a screwdriver in behind there, and I'll pry it out. But I keep my hand in behind there, that way it doesn't go flying. So there's a clip there, and I'm going to do the same side on this side, which hence why you have to disconnect this so that you can spin this around just like that. Find the end of the clip. Now, the reason for two screwdrivers is because these are coming out fairly easily, but sometimes they don't. If you have two screwdrivers that are the same length, you put them on here like that and like that, and you find the ends of the clips there, and then you take and you tap on them both at the same time. If you've got clips that aren't coming out like they should, then that's why you want two screwdrivers the same size. So now we'll go and do this other side. Find the end of the clips there. There's a clip there. Get it behind it. There you go, that one's out. Now, to remove the U-joint itself, now I'm going to take this hammer and I'm going to tap on the actual yoke itself. Now, you don't want a large hammer and just start slamming on this thing. You'll damage your yokes here, but you can tap on them. And they'll start to push that cap out there. So you can flip it over, do the same thing on this side. See, that cap is starting to move there. Do the same thing on this side until you can get it completely. Then this cap just pops right out. Now you can finish the other side if you haven't already. And there we go there. That's out. Now you can put this in a vise, do the same thing. If you put that in a vise, tap on this side. That's going to push this cap up. Flip this over. Put the vise right here. Don't tighten it down. Just get it enough to where your vise is just like this. And then tap right here. That's going to push those caps out and do the same thing. I'm going to remove this yoke just to show you how to do that there. Not a complicated process, but wanted to show you that. Got a 19 millimeter there. 19 millimeter socket, throw it on there. That nut is off of there. Then we can take and we can pull this out. There's a lot of times an O-ring in there that'll sometimes kind of keep it from, it'll bind itself up, which is what it's doing here, but there we go. We got that pulled off of there. There's the O-ring there, a larger O-ring, and then this here. Now going back together, I'm not going to put it back on here to go back together because I'm actually going to sell this yoke. It's going to be up for sale. Check my eBay store for these parts. But to put it back together, what I'm going to do is slide this side in like that side like that. Take these, obviously, if you're replacing your U-joint, these caps are going to be new, your joint's going to be new. But I take, and if you can see that post is sticking out a ways there, make sure all your rollers are right in position there. Take and slide that on. If it doesn't feel right, if you're not able just to push that completely down, then one of those rollers probably fell out of place. Hold it there. And tap that down. Watch your fingers when you're doing this. Get it down a little ways. You don't have to go all the way. Now I like to take and push up just slightly again. And same thing on this side. You do want to make sure that you can slide back and forth. That means those rollers aren't pushing us one direction or the other. Slide it down, slide it back and forth. Make sure you can move it freely. Tap it down just like that, enough to where you can get your clips in there. Slide your clips in. I like to use a little hammer here. Tap those into place, just like that. Same thing on this side. Just make sure you got enough room in there to get that clip in. Got to go down a little bit farther. If you can't move this back and forth freely, then you've done something wrong. And then we can go ahead and put that last clip in there. Or I guess this is the second clip. Make sure that's seated into place right there. Make sure it's not sticking up or anything. So that is, we'll go ahead and put those other clips in there, but that is the U-joint replacement on a Yamaha front differential. A lot of the U-joints on these models are going to be the exact same, and actually on any model, it's just how they're mounted and what they're mounted to that's going to be different. So, got questions or comments, make sure you leave those below. If you want me to do more videos on this Timberwolf, or check out my other videos on this Timberwolf, as they will be uploaded onto my channel. Thanks a lot for watching.